Before Janet Napolitano became the head of the Department of Homeland Security, she was governor of Arizona, where she instituted speed and red light cameras across her state in conjunction with an Australian company called Redflex. And actually it's a foreign entity that operates and basically installs red light cameras across the United States. Now virtually wherever you go in the major cities across the country and many small communities, red light cameras have become the vogue. Red light cameras are triggered by sensors that are placed in the road, and they can be triggered sometimes by making a right turn on red legally, or if you pass a bit over the median or the white line where the red light cameras are focused and pull back, you still are in violation because the sensor has been tripped. There have been a number of studies on the red light cameras and the problems with them, which I detail in my commentary, which you can find at rutherford.org, which is red light cameras, safety devices, are one more step toward a surveillance state. Red light cameras generally are revenue-raising devices. They don't really increase safety. The problem with red light cameras, and they've been studied since the 80s essentially. In fact, former House Majority Leader Dick Armey did a major study on red light cameras, and he came out against them. Basically, what they do is they increase rear-end crashes. They cut down on so-called T-bone crashes where people actually cross into an intersection and the cars collide, but they greatly increase rear-end crashes because they put people in what's called a dilemma zone, and people don't know whether to run or stop because of the yellow light situation, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then they stop quickly and someone smashes into the back of the car. So they actually increase accidents at intersections. Across the board, the studies have shown one thing on the red light cameras is that if you increase the yellow light time, almost all red light running stops. Amazingly so, however, since the institution of red light cameras across the country through this Australian company, Redflex, yellow light time has actually decreased. In other words, you have less time to stop. In fact, one study in Virginia in 2007 showed at a major intersection in Arlington, Virginia, where there was a really extreme problem with red light running, they increased the yellow light time 1.5 seconds from 4.0 seconds to stop, 4.0 seconds to stop to 5.5 seconds you had to stop. It almost eliminated entirely people running red lights. So of course the question is, if you just increase the yellow light time, it stops people from running red lights, why do we have red light cameras? Well, there are a number of reasons. One is obviously revenue. In Washington, D.C., since they've instituted red light cameras in that city, they've doubled their revenue. And it also has increased the revenue of the Australian company Redflex. While our economy was tanking, their actual income increased almost 50%. In other words, money from a foreign corporation, while Americans don't have jobs, is going out of our country to Australia, while people are on food stamps and we're increasing our homeless population. The other reason we have red light cameras is it's the trend. We're moving toward a surveillance state with cameras on our downtown malls, to how the government operates in terms of reading our emails, our phone calls, all things that I've detailed in my commentaries on rutherford.org. Technology is rapidly moving forward to where we're having cameras everywhere, or the government's being able to track and watch us everywhere. In fact, there will come a time when red light cameras will probably go live, and they'll be watching all intersections simultaneously. Another thing about red light cameras, that's where democratic government breaks down. Some of the contracts, and I've seen some of the contracts that local municipalities have with the Redflex Corporation, they're 2 inches thick. It takes 2 or 3 lawyers reading them to figure out what in the poop they mean in terms of how they restrict the average citizens, and how the municipalities are actually collecting money, and how the cameras operate. The other thing is, it's basically about control in the end. To give an example of what happened in Virginia, Governor Bob McDonnell signed 2 measures into law in the summer of 2009. The first actually allows, and this is amazing, ladies and gentlemen, it actually allows the Australian company, a private company, Redflex, to go into Virginians' records at VDOT, the Virginia Department of Transportation, and actually see where your address is, what prior convictions you have, and have access to your records. This is not the police, not some state official that we're protected from by the Constitution, but a private corporation. The other thing that McDonald signed into law was reducing the time you had to respond to these particular citations you get for running a red light from 60 days to 30 days. They're actually mailed to you, which means you'll have less than 30 days to respond. What's the reason for that? Obviously, it'll create, again, a dilemma, and you won't have much time to respond, and you'll pay up, and therefore your municipality will make more money off of these red light running citations. What we need in our country today are alert citizens. When these kind of devices are instituted in your local communities, go check out and see why your officials are doing it. When they're having the meetings to institute them, they should be public meetings. If so, go object. There's all kinds of information saying that all you have to do, as I've said, is extend the yellow light time, and you don't need these cameras. And you don't need people tracking you down, the police or private corporations going to your private records and finding out what your offenses are. We're moving into a surveillance state, folks, so it's up to you and me. If you don't want these things, then it's up to you to stop it.